Journaling has been my little sanctuary since I was a kid. Pages filled with doodles, stickers, and dreams. So it only felt right that my next product would be a journal of my own. I'm designing it with my own artwork, adding a handmade charm, and using a smart tool to help launch it with less risk. If you've ever wanted to see how a small business launches something new from idea to pre-order, you're in the right place. Come with me as I turn childhood nostalgia into a real-life product launch. Hi friends, I'm Emma. I'm the artist and maker behind Tiny Bloom Studio, a small company I run out of my little New York City apartment. For the most part, I sculpt colorful, cute little creations out of polymer clay. But today, I'm gonna be designing a journal, Tiny Bloom Studio's first ever journal. But I still want to have that handmade charm and feel to it. So we're gonna combine manufacturing and handmade into one product. For the cover, I'm kind of wanting it to be like a gallery wall of stamps. And if you don't know what I mean by gallery wall, I have a very small one. It's weird to point on camera. This and this. That's a very mini gallery wall I have. I want it to be like that, but little stamps of all different sizes. So cutesy color for artwork. And then I also want to add a hand sculpted polymer clay charm to the journal. How I'm going to do that and where I'm going to attach it, I have not figured that out yet, but we will figure it out and we'll do it together in this video. Maybe I'll make it customizable so you can choose which charm you want, provide some different options. And then also, I really love when journals have a bookmark, a string or a ribbon or something. Potentially that bookmark and the clay charm could be one thing. Maybe they'll be separate. I don't know yet. I'm starting at the beginning. I'm genuinely bringing you along with me. We're gonna figure it out together. And this is also a very personal project for me to be making a journal, because journaling has just been a constant for me since I was a kid throughout all the seasons of my life. Having a place to process and write down my thoughts and play around has been such a crucial component for me in my life and navigating life and just be like a human on this planet. But as a small business, I don't want to order a lot of stock up front. Plus, you've seen my space. I don't have a lot of room to be holding a lot of inventory either. But thankfully, I have the perfect solution to this: pre-orders. Since this is a brand new product and I'm still within the first year of my business, I want to launch smart. And that is where today's sponsor, Early Bird, comes in. Thank you, Early Bird, for sponsoring today's video. Okay, but why did I sit down on the floor? Let's go back up to my desk. Early Bird is a Shopify app that helps you run pre-orders and collect waitlist email signups. It's perfect for launching new or limited drops without the financial risk. Instead of buying a ton of inventory up front, you can use pre-order sales to gauge your demand and fund your production. This works beautifully for manufactured items like journals, but also for handmade launches too. It displays the pre-order information super clearly to your customers, so they're aware it's a pre-order and when to expect it. One of my favorite features, you can offer flexible payment options. Get customers to pay in full in exchange for a discount, or let them put down a deposit as a reservation. You have so much control over how you want to let customers pay for their pre-orders. They even have a generous free plan to start. You only upgrade when your business is ready to scale, and they have resources to teach you how to run pre-orders. So if you want to try out Early Bird for your own Shopify store, check out the link in the description below. And I'll show you how I'm setting up pre-orders for my journals a little later in this video. So first things first, we need to research our manufacturer, and essentially what I'm looking for broadly is the styles they offer, the quality of it, price, quantity requirements like the minimum order quantity, and also the ability to get a real sample, not just a digital proof. Initially, I looked into 3 main places: SmartPress, Moo, and Vistaprint. Okay, so after looking at my options, I've decided to go with Vistaprint. For these journals, they're going to be 5.5 by 8.5 inches. and they'll be spiral bound. There's also the option to get different types of like the covers. You can get glossy, soft touch, or pearl. I'm really interested in soft touch and pearl. I think I'm probably gonna order one of each of those so I can really feel the difference between them, and honestly just get whatever like feels most like satisfying and kind of relaxing and soothing to pick up when you go to write, because that's how I want to feel when I pick up my journal. The one thing I'm trying to decide though is if I want to do like a college ruled like lined notebook, or if I want to just have it plain.
Blank. No lines, just white nice pieces of paper.
I'm kind of leaning towards not lined, but I am really curious what other people like. So I'm gonna do a quick little poll on my Instagram, do just like a hair little bit of kind of like market research on a very low, easy scale. I like both styles, but I know some people can be passionate about their journals, lined or not lined. Hopefully, whatever I end up choosing is what you would prefer, because by the time this video is up, the decision will have been made. So if you wanna have like some more behind the scenes little glimpses, be able to do these kind of little polls in the future, follow my Instagram so you can be a part of that. We shall see what people prefer. So I just downloaded and imported the journal templates, the front cover and the back cover, into Procreate. So that way I have the right size. It also shows the lines of like where the spiral bound will be and like the bleed lines and everything, so you understand your perimeters and what you're working with. So now I'm just gonna pop on my headphones, some cozy music, and get into my little artsy world, my little drawn world, and we'll see what I come up with. Now for this cover art, I definitely want to feel playful and calming, just like, you know, the pieces I make out of clay. It is a few days later. I've spent a lot of time drawing. Still feeling a little nervous to order them. I don't know why I feel nervous. I think it's just like manufacturing versus like handmade. So much more is out of your control. It's probably a control thing I should look into, of wanting to be able to do the whole process myself so I can do it exactly how I like it. Which, by the way, results of the poll. So there's a clear winner. 68% of people said they preferred lined notebooks. So lined journals it is, but before we can order the journal, we have to finish the artwork. Now let's upload this file and make some journals. Okay, JK, actually, I'm not loving this little slowed down one. I think I'm gonna redo that one because I'm not loving it. It's not doing it for me. So we're gonna do that real quick. Changed it out and I made, if you can see in that corner, a little tiny piece of strawberry cake. I feel like in my brain there's always like a million and two things. I'm like,
I could do that different, I could do this, I could do that.
And I feel like at a certain point, I just have to like cut myself off. Just trust that what I'm doing is enough, because my brain, for better or worse, can see all the little details and all the little things, and it can drive me crazy sometimes, but I mean, it pushes me to be better. Okay, so here's the preview of the front, and then the back. The journals are ordered. I got two different kinds because there's like different finishes for the covers. So we're gonna see which one we like better. One is called Pearl, one is called Soft Touch. Just from the names and the descriptions, I think Soft Touch is supposed to be more of like a velvety, soft touch feeling. Duh, the name of the which, I mean, it sounds like what it's called, but we shall see. It is now the next day, and it's time to do the part that I am very excited for, the handmade portion of this product, the sculpting, the polymer clay, and I figured you wanna sculpt with me? Come on, let's sculpt together. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I want to do at least a few different charms. I want to make it customizable, that people choose what charm they'd like to add on to their journal, just to make it feel a little more like them, a little more personal. I'm first going to play around with 4 different ideas. We're going to do a lemon, a strawberry, a coffee cup, and a flower. Even though this product is partially manufactured, it was so important for me to keep the handmade touches. That's why every single journal will include a charm that I sculpt myself by hand, so it still carries that one-of-a-kind, handmade energy that my shop is built on. So the journals have officially arrived. Da 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 da. You might be like, what is the difference? And the artwork is obviously the same. We have, the stamp on the front, and then on the back of them, it just says Time Loom Studio with my website on it. So the difference is like the texture and material of the covers. So this one is called Pearl, and it has like an iridescent kind of like sheen to it. I love how it honestly makes the colors look. And then this one is called Soft Touch. It's like completely matte and it does feel like velvety. It's really nice. And I honestly don't know which one I want to do. Low-key, I love how this one visually looks, but this one, it is very satisfying to touch. Like it does actually feel like velvety and soft and smooth and kind of almost like a blanket. I don't know. I wish you could like feel it through the screen. The last time, I think the last clip you saw before this clip, I was making these charms, prototypes, final ones. We have a little coffee cup, a lemon, a little flower, and a strawberry. And then I got these to attach them. Initially, I bought these yellow ones, but honestly, it was a little too much having all the color. So then I bought these brown ones. Wow, that is satisfying. This is an example of what they'll look like. Wow, that's cute. I don't know, I think it's cute at least. I hope you think it's cute. Also, I don't think I've mentioned this before, but my hair is also purple now, just like the front part of it. I dyed my hair since I last filmed. Maybe you noticed that, maybe you didn't. I feel like a little like purple fairy now. Next for the journals is we need to add a bookmark. And there was a few different ways we could do this, but I want to use some ribbon. Plus I did also buy some just clear nail polish so I can use this on, like the ends of the ribbon so they don't fray. Okay, so out of these 2 bookmarks, I definitely prefer this lighter blue color. One, because I think the color is just a little more neutral. Like there's already so much happening on the cover. It's nice to have a bit more of a neutral color. Plus, when you actually go to like open it, like if you want to say you want to go to your bookmark, it's really easy to just like open the page because the ribbon's a bit thicker. Whereas for this little one, it's kind of like hard. It's not as satisfying to like open the book. However, I think this is a little long. I'm gonna much better. I know it probably seems very quick that I kind of like figured this out and knew what I wanted to do, but that's also because prior to recording this video, I also did do a fair amount of research and looking at different things. And for bookmarks, I wanted something just nice, simple, and easy. And like I said, I always wanted to have that kind of like handmade, homey touch. And this is personally what I would do if I wanted to add bookmark to my journal. And so I figured that's what I would do for you. I genuinely don't know which one to pick. The pearl, the kind of like iridescentness adds really nice visual texture, and it does also feel really good too. It is still super like soft. I don't know what it is. There's something about this velvety touch one that also is just like, it's more, a little more pixelated. Maybe it's just because it's matte and there's no like, you know, there's no forgiveness, where this iridescent one kind of has a little more forgiveness, you know? Okay, so I have decided that the pearl, kind of like iridescent journal, she is the winner. Let's run this for a little test drive, shall we? I'm gonna get some stickers and some washi tapes and my pens. Okay, now let's set up our pre-order campaign. Yeah. So first off, we need to actually install the app. It's really easy to do. Literally click the button and you'll be taken to this page in your Shopify. And then to actually enable it, just click this button, make sure this little thing is toggled right here, save it, and you are all good to go. So now let's create our campaign. And I'm just gonna label this May 2025 Journal Pre-orders. Now there's 3 different options you can pick. The first option is to keep selling pre-orders until the campaign ends. This method is best if your goal is to sell as many units as possible, especially before placing an order with your supplier. Because the more pre-orders you collect, the higher your minimum order quantity can be, and then the lower your cost per unit will end up being. The second is to only sell pre-orders while in stock. This works really well when you have a limited quantity available for pre-order. And then third, only sell pre-orders while out of stock. If a product sells out, you can still collect pre-order payments while waiting for it to be restocked. I'm gonna keep selling pre-orders until the campaign ends, and I'm also gonna let Early Bird automatically manage continue selling when out of stock. Next, you can set the start date as well as the end date, and then we can select our product. Now, what I love about this is you can select your payment options. You can either have them pay in full, which I'm gonna have that be one of my options. I'm gonna have this one pays in full right away, then they can save 10% off just as a little thank you. There's also the option for a customer to pay part now and part later. So basically put down deposit. And I'm gonna do this as well. So if someone wants to pay 50% right up front, then they can pay 50% later on. You also have the option to add a fulfillment date. And one thing I love about Early Bird is that if you need to move the fulfillment date for whatever reason, the app will actually ask you if you want to send an automated email to customers, letting them know that their orders will either arrive early or there's been shipping delays. Then you can just either schedule it or publish your campaign depending on the date. Because this is a future date, I actually went in and I moved the date earlier so that way you're able to see what is happening. So here we go. Let's go look. Here it is. The app does a really good job of clearly communicating to customers that it's a pre-sale and their payment options, as well as the estimated ship date, which I love. This lets me generate sales first before I actually have to finalize the inventory, which is a game changer. If you're a small business owner launching new products, definitely check out Early Bird. And there's even a free plan, like not a free trial, but like a 100% free plan that you can use to get started right now. Check out the link in the description below. We are basically almost done with all of the prep to finally launch this journal. The only thing we have to do now is tell people about it. We have to make sure people know that I made a journal so that people can buy the journal. I mean, obviously if you're watching this video, you already know, but I also have people on Instagram, and I also use TikTok. I don't know, I'm not a huge TikTok fan, to be honest, but I have it as well. In here, start writing down my little marketing plan. And so what we're gonna do is I'm going to reuse some of the footage from this YouTube video to give people kind of like a behind the scenes glimpse. I'm also gonna film just like a sitting down talking video to introduce this. And then one thing I always do with product launches too is I always use the product photos that I take and I make a carousel out of it. So I'm gonna do a carousel to try to make it a little more engaging and interactive, though I'm also gonna include some photos of like me just journaling and holding the journal, and I'll add some like little text in there to just spice it up a little bit. We gotta spice it up. And then lastly, something that I have not done before, but I just realized last week. So on my website, on my Shopify website, there's an option to join the email list. And also if you check out using Shopify, there's like you can check a little box to be added to my email list. I have not done anything in my email list yet. I have not done any email campaigns. And while I'm in the boat of thinking that email campaigns don't work, I know they really do. And I always get the business advice of like, do email campaigns, use your email list. It really helps. And so we're gonna start doing that. I'm gonna write an email and send out my first ever newsletter. I don't know, is it called a newsletter? My little shop email to people that have subscribed to my email list. So also, if you would like to subscribe to my email list, you can do that on my website. That's basically my little marketing plan in a nutshell. Even though like I can draw, I know how to draw, I do draw, I still like have some weird imposter syndrome when it comes to drawing because I didn't like go to art school. I haven't, I don't have any like professional training in like fine arts. And I feel like naturally I'm much more inclined and just like understand like textile art, like sculpting and clay and pottery and stuff. I naturally pick up better, and I feel like drawing is always something I really wanted to do, but I've always felt very like shy about, and I still feel shy about like drawing and putting my art out there to sell on like, a notebook or stickers. I made cups recently, and I'm also, I think it should be the video after this one, I'm gonna be making some more products as well, and I think I'm gonna do a tote bag that like matches this design. I also wanna make some stickers that kind of match this design as well. So we're gonna have like a cute little stamped tiny balloons collection, which I'm very excited for. This whole project, it just started as a little daydream of me just writing in my journal in the morning and then sketching on my iPad and in my journal, and now to like see it come to life, it honestly feels like surreal. I'm gonna be doing the pre-order sales. I'm also gonna be getting some of these to sell at the markets that I have coming up this summer, which by the way, the first market I have is on June 7th and 8th. I'm gonna be at the Renegade Craft Fair in Brooklyn. And then I have 3 more markets coming up after that. If you wanna keep up to date with like what markets and stuff I'm doing, make sure you follow my Instagram. It's just Time Bloom Studio, and I'm gonna be posting about my markets there and all the dates and like my booth numbers so you can find me easily at the events. And I don't know, I feel really proud of myself that I'm finding ways to like scale my company that's not 100% handmade, because 100% handmade, as we've talked about before, is a lot. So if you want to get your hands on this journal, pre-orders are open now through June 1st, through the day of June 1st. That's about a week. Yeah, if you want to get it, if you can pre-order it, it would really help me just to gauge demand, so I know how many to buy, and also, helping me fund it as I go along, because I am still a new business owner with limited funds. That being said, pre-orders are just on my Shopify site, not on my Etsy, which means it's just for US domestic orders. As I said, I'll be buying additional ones of these to sell in person at my markets coming up, and then I will, in a handful of weeks, also be putting these on my Etsy, so if you're international and you want to buy one, you will be able to get one. Also, if you're curious how pre-order sales go, I'm personally very curious. I don't know how they're gonna go because this is the first time I'm doing pre-orders. Follow along and subscribe, because I will be mentioning in a follow-up video how these go. Hopefully I can do a full follow-up video about them and getting them and packaging them and making all the charms for them. We'll have to see how many sell. I don't know yet. We'll see. We're in this journey together. You know as much as I do at this point. But seriously, thank you so much for coming along on this journey with me, and for following along, and for taking the precious time of your day to be a part of this community and, help support my business and watch it grow. For now, do something creative, do something good for yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.